morning, everybody. On behalf of Metro, I want to welcome all of the various aspects of the mobility sector to Los Angeles County and LA City and the community of Little Tokyo. This year has been an exciting year. The last 10 years have been an exciting 10 years, and the last 20 years have been an exciting 20 years for Los Angeles County. I actually started my career at Metro so many years ago when things weren't all that great, and have been part of this agency, either working for it directly or through the private sector, seeing it just turn around how the community, how the city, how the county, the state sees Los Angeles and public transportation. I started my career as an intern in the mid-90s. I'm now the Chief Planning Officer at Metro. Under my responsibility, of which there are 3 primary responsibilities at Metro, and that's to plan, operate, and construct the public transportation system. That's our primary role for being. On the planning side, we're responsible for transit-oriented communities and joint development. We're responsible for pursuing grant opportunities as well as distributing grants out to local cities. We're responsible for the planning of new major rail transit corridors, new bus rapid transit corridors, taking those all the way from concept to the start of construction. And we're also responsible for supporting the local roads and highways, with looking at it in a multimodal way, providing grants to local cities. So a lot under the planning department at Metro. When I started Metro, again, things were not as great as they are now. When I finished my first gig at Metro, we just completed getting the East Side extension, which is now in operation out to East Los Angeles, getting that into construction. There was no major rail cores being planned. Studies had not started. I went to the private sector, and the year after, in 2007, Metro finally reinitiated planning on a number of transit corridors. So we saw, for the first time, some of these lines being conceived, some of them taken to further along in design and actually getting ready for environmental approval. In 2008, the County of Los Angeles, seeing a number of lines finally being built and operated. In 2008, the voters passed Measure R, which really reinvigorated the transit industry in Los Angeles. And with that, we saw the completion of the Expo line, so the E line from downtown Los Angeles out to Santa Monica. We saw the completion of that East Side line that I talked about. And we saw the start of construction on the West Side Purple line, now D line. We'd love to change the names around here, as you all know. Really exciting times for all that to get started. Seeing the momentum build again in 2016, the county passed Measure M, which throttled up the transit planning and construction in Los Angeles. So with those projects completed, we were now ready to enter in construction on the K line north, on the West Side extension phases 2 and 3. We are now starting construction on another BRT line, improvements on the G line, on our existing bus rapid transit system, and also starting construction on our a new rail line in the valley, this East San Fernando Valley Light Rail project. Over the last 3 years, we've seen many of those projects in Measure R and M actually complete construction and start to operate. So we've had probably the most ribbon cuttings in the last 3 years, and we still have 2 more years to go with many more ribbon cuttings and grand opening. So we saw the Crenshaw or K-Line project open up. We saw the regional connector also open up. K-Line connects the E-line near Culver City down to it was just north of LAX. The regional connector connected the Pasadena line and the E line to Santa Monica and the Blue line and all these different lines together through downtown Los Angeles. The station that you see across the street is one of those stations for the regional connector, the Little Tokyo Arts District station. And there are now added basically 5 stations in downtown where you can go north, south, east, and west all in rail and not have to, if you're on one of those stations, not have to transfer to another station. We then opened up the LAX MTC 1 year ago, just over a year ago from today. That's the connection to the airport, soon to be connected to the LAX People Mover when that opens up sometime next year. And we've got active transportation projects that have been opening up. We have the rail-to-rail project on Slauson Boulevard using old rail right-of-way, similar to the Belt Line in Atlanta and the High Line in New York, is probably, I think, the longest urban active transportation corridor in Los Angeles County. And we're really excited because early next year, we plan to open the D-Line extension, the first phase, which will add a couple more stations to the D-Line. Early being sometime between January and March. We're all pushing for earlier than March, and some are saying we're going to open it, well, not some, all of us are saying we're going to open it as soon as it is absolutely safe to open. And so they're testing trains right now. That will be followed by the opening of the next segment of the West Side Extension and the third segment all before the games. So you'll be able to take the D-Line all the way out to Westwood and the Veterans Administration. So really excited about all of these things that are occurring in Los Angeles, but we're not stopping there. We have a number of projects that are completing the planning phases. So we've had a number of projects in the planning phases. When we passed Measure M, and we have more projects that are completing the planning phases over the last year or so. We have the extension of the East Side line, or the E-Line, approved out to Whittier. We're now going through the federal approval process and initiating designs on that. We have the Southeast Gateway line, the longest line that we are approaching all at once. It's about 14 miles to the southeast of Los Angeles, connecting 10 different cities. That's been improved, and we're really pursuing federal funding and initiating some of the construction activities. That was approved about a year and a half ago. We are getting to points of very important milestones on the C-Line extension to Torrance, or now the K-Line extension to Torrance, or should be the K-Line extension to Torrance once we reach that milestone. That would be something for our board to consider is the final approval of that project and that environmental document. We have, let's see, there's a project called the Sepulveda Transit Corridor. I don't know if anybody's heard of that one. That is getting to a decision point as well. We released the draft environmental document. Really had great outreach and response to the environmental document. A lot of attendance at the public hearings, a lot of attendance at the public meetings up to the public hearings, a lot of comments received. We're really excited. We also used a new platform to help people through the process of reviewing an environmental document. That became something that we're starting to use on a number of our projects. And so the list goes on and on. We've got Vermont Transit Corridor as well that we're, it's a bus rapid transit connecting the C line to the E line to the D line and to the B line, all of Vermont, and really working on that bus rapid transit corridor project. In the final phases of the NEPA process there, the Federal National Environmental Protection Act process, and like to get that open as well for the Olympics. So I can go on and on with different projects. There's still more of that coming our way. But in addition to all that, of course, we're doing all the planning for and implementation of what we need to accomplish for the Games. It is an opportunity for us to rethink our system, how our buses interface with our rail stations, how we utilize all modes of transportation, how we communicate information to our customers, to all those who need to move in Los Angeles while all this is happening, and to move people from all over the world who, absolutely will not be speaking English or Spanish or a number of languages, although we've got quite a number covered in Los Angeles. It's still going to be something that we're definitely excited to take on. And we have a plan, and we got some other events prior to the Games that we're preparing for, including the World Cup and another Super Bowl and a few other major events along with those. So really excited about that opportunity while we continue to expand our massive program. We're also looking at technology. Our intent is to bring open loop payment to Metro, hopefully fairly soon rather than later. We're in the process of enhancing our station experience and activation by bringing station activities as a normal way of doing business at Metro. So we have had what we call station takeovers, where we actually, during a major game or event, transform a station, renaming it temporarily, having activities, musicians, artists, all of those folks at a station to really create some excitement around our stations. And then finally, but not least, we are doing a number of things in terms of making everybody feel safe and comfortable and excited to be on the Metro system. So we have a number of things we're doing in-house related to information dissemination by having folks at our stations being there not to provide necessarily security, but to provide a friendly face and information on how to get around the system. So we're bringing the ambassador program, which are the folks that we've hired to do that for us over the last year, especially coming out of the pandemic, the last couple of years. We're bringing that in-house. It will now be a department or a piece of what Metro does. So we're really excited about that. And then we're also standing up the new Department of Public Safety, which is our own group of safety individuals who will help, again, make our system safer, be able to respond to any activity. And they're testing a number of different technologies like tap in and tap out into our stations, as well as others. So we're really excited about the next few years, and have been excited over the last 20 to 30 years about how the County of Los Angeles really entrusted us with their tax-paying dollars and being able to implement an ever-expanding system. So with that, thank you, welcome, please take a ride, please enjoy, and looking forward to hearing more about the conference. Thank you.